Cool Air by H.P. Lovecraft. You asked me to explain why I am afraid of a draught of cool air. Why shiver more than others upon entering a cool room, and seem nauseated and repel when the chill of evening creeps through the heat of a mild autumn day. There are those who say I respond to cold as others do to a bad odor. And I am the last to deny the impression. What I will do is to relate the most horrible circumstance I ever encountered, and leave it to you to judge whether or not this forms a suitable explanation of my peculiarity. It is a mistake to fancy that horror is associated inextricably with darkness, silence, and solitude. I found it in the glare of mid-afternoon, in the clangor of a metropolis, and in the teeming midst of a shabby and commonplace rooming house with a prosaic landlady and two stalwart men by my side. In the spring of 1923 I had secured some dreary and unprofitable magazine work in the city of New York, and being unable to pay any substantial rent, began drifting from one cheap boarding establishment to another in search of a room which might combine the qualities of decent cleanliness and durable furnishing and very reasonable price. It soon developed that I had only a choice between different evils, but after a time I came upon a house in West 14th Street, which disgusted me much less than the others I had sampled. The place was a four-story mansion of brownstone, dating apparently from the late 40s, and fitted with woodwork and marble, whose stain and sully splendor argue a descent from high levels of tasteful opulence. In the rooms, large and lofty, and decorated with impossible paper and ridiculous ornate stucco cornices, there lingered a depressing mustiness and a hint of obscure cookery. But the floors were clean, the linen tolerably regular, and the hot water not too often cooled or turned off, so that I came to regard it as at least a veritable place to hibernate until one might really live again. The landlady, a slatternly, almost bearded Spanish woman named Herrero, did not annoy me with gossip or with criticism of the late burning electric light in my third-floor front hall room, and my fellow lodgers were as quiet and uncommunicative as one might desire, being mostly Spaniards a little above the coarsest and crudest grade. Only the ding of streetcars in the thoroughfare below proved a serious annoyance. I had been there about 3 weeks when the first odd incident occurred. One evening, at about 8, I heard spattering on the floor, and became suddenly aware that I had been smelling the pungent odor of ammonia for some time. Looking about, I saw that the ceiling was wet and dripping, the soaking apparently proceeding from a corner on the side toward the street. Anxious to stop the matter at its source, I hastened to the basement to tell the landlady. I was assured by her that the trouble would quickly be set right. "Doctor Munoz," she cried as she rushed upstairs ahead of me. "He have spilled his chemicals. He is too sick for doctor himself, sicker and sicker all the time. But he will not have no other for help. He is very queer in his sickness. All day he take fun-smelling baths, and he cannot get excited or warm. All his own housework he do. His little room are full of bottles and machines, and he do not work as doctor. But he was great once. My father in Barcelona have heard of him, and only just now he fixed an arm of the plumber that get hurt of a sudden. He never got out, only on roof, and my boy Esteban, he bring him his food and laundry and medicines and chemicals. My God, the salharmonic that man used for keep them cool." Mr. Herrero disappeared up the stairs to the fourth floor, and I returned to my room. The ammonia ceased to drip, and as I cleaned up what had spilled and opened the window for air, I heard the landlady's heavy footsteps above me. Dr. Munoz I had never heard, save for certain sounds as of some gasoline-driven mechanism, since his steps was soft and gentle. I wondered for a moment what the strange affliction of this man might be, and whether his obstinate refusal of outside aid were not the result of a rather baseless eccentricity. There is, I reflected tritely, an infinite deal of pathos in the state of an eminent person who has come down in the world. I might never have known Dr. Munoz had it not been for the heart attack that suddenly seized me one forenoon as I sat writing in my room. Physicians have told me of the danger of those spells, and I knew there was no time to be lost. So, remembering what the landlady had said about the invalid health of the injured workman, I dragged myself upstairs and knocked feebly at the door above mine. My knock was answered in good English by a curious voice some distance to the right, asking my name and business, and these things being stated, there came an opening of the door next to the one I had sought. A rush of cool air greeted me, and though the day was one of the hottest of late June, I shivered as I crossed the threshold into a large apartment whose rich and tasteful decoration surprised me in this nest of squalor and seediness. A folding couch now filled its diurnal roll of sofa, and the mahogany furniture, stones, hangings, old paintings, and mellow bookshelf all bespoke a gentleman's study, rather than a boarding-house bedroom. I now saw that the whole room above mine, the little room of bottles and machines, which Mr. Herrero had mentioned, was merely the laboratory of the doctor, and that his main living quarters lay in the spacious adjoining room, whose convenient alcoves and large contiguous bathroom permitted him to hide all dressers and obtrusive utilitarian devices. Dr. Munoz most certainly was a man of birth, cultivation, and discrimination. The figure before me was short, but exquisitely proportioned, and clad in somewhat formal dress of perfect cut and fit. A high-bred face of masterful, though not arrogant expression was adorned by a short iron-gray, full beard, and an old-fashioned pince-nez shielded the full dark eyes and surmounted an aquiline nose which gave a Moorish touch to a physiognomy otherwise dominantly Celtiverian. Thick, well-trimmed hair that argued the punctual calls of a barber was parted gracefully above a high forehead, and the whole picture was one of striking intelligence and superior blood and breeding.